everything stated in this video is my opinion and my opinion only. And just like everything else in these cases we discuss here on this channel, everything is alleged. Hello, guys. Hello. Thank you so much, Missy, for the $4.99 super sticker and the $10 super sticker, Cat Lover. Thank you guys so much. We are only going to be going over this order right now, guys. I'm going to go live later tonight and recap all 15 of my post-it notes. Hopefully, I'll have time to go in and clip stuff. If not, then we will be Control F, finding what we need to in the transcript, because in between getting off of this and going live later, I've got to clip and bathe dogs and cook dinner and do laundry and all the things. So we're going to do our best. But right now we're going to go over this order because it was assumed, it was most likely about Dateline that he wanted this special prosecutor to come out for when it came to gag order violations. That's what we heard today in the hearing. So somebody's about to be in trouble. Somebody's going to be in trouble. This is going to be interesting to see what happens here because somebody's about to be in trouble. But this is the thing, though. With the family not being under the gag order, if Steve Goncalves is involved in some of this stuff being handed over to Dateline, not all of it, okay, because obviously Hippler is under the impression somebody actually violated the actual gag order, which again, I will repeat myself. The families are not under that gag order. They're not. So if Steve Goncalves gave stuff to Dateline, he can't technically get in trouble for anything. At least not here on Earth, you know. But if somebody else did, then yeah, they're going to probably lose their job. So we're going to see exactly what happened here. I just feel like if Hippler really thought that this was all just some shadowy shit being done by the Goncalves family, this order wouldn't be in here. He honestly must feel somebody really did some shady-ish. So we're going to go ahead and just get this open right here to start reading it. Now, remember in the hearing, did you? I tagged Dateline and said, somebody's getting subpoenaed. A public reprimand on camera, right? Like back in the good old days when they used to just throw them up in the front of everyone. They might as well just start doing that. Maybe if people were made an example of these days, instead of everybody just getting away with being assholes and losers and just horrible humans, maybe we would have less of that. just maybe a smidge less of that. Okay. Like we heard in the hearing, there was one of these already written out by the judge for the state. What he did, and I guess just to make it fair, was that he expanded it to the defense. So that kind of makes me wonder if he just automatically has it in his head that it's the prosecution. He's looking at you, Xana. I don't know, or maybe Hushley. He's looking at somebody over there first. He had to have been, because he didn't extend it to the defense until today. So I think that's maybe important to look at. I don't know. I'm just saying. Oh, I missed something. Oh, legendary. No. Okay, broski, no. Thank you for the $9.99 just to tell me no. Okay, let's read this. They're the same. I looked at both of them. The links are, this one link is in the description box. I almost couldn't find my keyboard. I just switched my keyboard, so I got lost for a second. I'm going to put this one in the chat. This is the one for the defense. So this is the one that he would have written after the fact. This one right here is the one for the state. So here's the link for this one. Okay. Okay, so let's see if I can make this bigger so we can read this. Because he's specific in the things that he has questions for. He is very specific in the things that he is stating are leaked items per the gag order. Let's just go ahead and start reading. Based on sensitive information not previously publicly circulated that was reported during a recent Dateline TV program related to this case and the defendant, Bryan Kohberger, it appears likely that someone currently or formerly associated with law enforcement or the prosecution team violated this court's non-dissemination order. Let's go see if that actually says that on the defense side. I know that these are mostly the same, but does it say somebody on the defense team likely did something? It appears likely that someone violated this court's non-dissemination order. And this one over here, is it like putting straight up? Yes. Okay. Okay. Hippler has his idea of who's involved, because this one says, I just had it. I'm losing my mind. Okay. Someone currently or formerly associated with law enforcement or the prosecution team violated the court gag order. And on the defense's one, it just says someone violated it. So he's not even trying to put any sort of like weight on the defense being the ones that did this. This is all on the prosecution. This is all on the prosecution. That's awesome. That's awesome. Maybe that's why he didn't seem to be like such an a-hole to the defense today. Like, he didn't have his hands in his head as much as he did, but he also was talking a lot more than normal today. So I guess maybe that could be why. But he was a little bit nicer today. Legendary. You just paid me $30 just to troll me. You're absolutely wild. Right, Meow. I said that earlier. I was talking shit to somebody that was in the chat during the pre-trial thing, and I was using Meow because, you know, sarcasm. Okay. Where's my water? I almost spilt my water earlier, which is why I switched my keyboards. So that was a problem. He was whispering, but I still felt like he was doing a little bit better this time. So maybe he's been being a little bit more fair with this last order that he did, and like with the way that this one sort of felt like, because he's maybe getting a better look at what's actually happening now. I don't know. But it was interesting today, which is something that we're going to look in the next live. It was interesting today to hear that he helped in the jury selection process for the Daybell case, is how it sounded. I don't know if that's exactly the way that he stated it, but he said something along those lines. And that's interesting considering the agent from the feds, Balanced, who's here for the data location information for Bryan. And that's like the biggest issue besides the IGG right now. And the only common denominator there is the Daybell case. So that's a little bit, you know. Oh, he's not just seeing people out here calling him that. He's seeing Steve Goncalves call him that. See, so now that this pretrial hearing is done, what's probably going to happen is tomorrow night, because it's Friday night, we'll probably go live. If nothing else drops in the case, okay? If nothing drops and nothing important happens in the case, we will go live and go over the interview that Steve Goncalves did on Ashley Banfield's personal channel, because he not only admits that it's the state's fault that he's out here saying the things that he's saying because the state isn't telling him what to say. Yes, those are the exact words, pretty much 95% the exact words that came out of his face. But yeah, he doesn't like know anything when it comes to any of this stuff. Like any of this stuff whatsoever. But he also calls Judge Hippler that twice. And she tries to correct him like in the middle. And whenever he says it again, she makes this face. But they kept it in there because I watched it probably like a week or so. Yeah, about a week after it aired. And she didn't cut it out. Nobody cut it out. So he's on there calling him that twice while also saying that he likes him, that he appreciates how strict he is and how he's controlling the courtroom. But then he's calling him that. And you don't call somebody that whenever you like the way that they're behaving. You would use a positive example of a leader. If you like the person that you were talking about, you wouldn't use one of the worst names in history. You know what I mean? So it's very strange. And it's also like the same way that he's been doing whenever it comes to the way that he feels about the prosecution and the state. Because I did the one video I did where he talked on News Nation. He's so like hard gulped when he was talking about how much he's starting to care and really likes these guys. And I'm like, you don't have to lie, bro. Like, none of us like them. Just because you have to agree to whatever's happening for whatever your own agenda is doesn't mean you have to come out here and lie about liking them. You could just literally not have an opinion about it in the public at all. Just shut up. Just shut up. Then you wouldn't have to lie. But the fact that you're out here lying and it's obvious because you say something in one statement and then the next statement you say something else. And I know damn well that Dateline had to have had some sort of affiliation with Steve Goncalves. That's another reason I want to go back through the interviews that he did leading up to this, because everything that he said was in Dateline. So regardless, I don't give a damn. Okay. I'll take the hit. I'll take the fall. I don't give a shit. The Goncalveses were involved in this in some way, shape, or form. Straight up. And I'm not changing my mind, but we're just going to go ahead and get to this document so I can like calm down a little bit. It's so aggravating whenever everyone thinks that we're crazy and talk shit to us constantly, but things keep on just dropping that keep proving us right. over and over and over again. It's just really gross. It's just super gross. Okay, we're going to continue. Okay. I actually like the states because he's putting the responsibility on where he believes it is. And it's interesting because in the Delphi case, it was somebody on the defense side that made a boo-boo. And that caused a whole thing. Even somebody lost their lives over it. So there's that. Okay, such violations not only undermine the rule of law, potentially by persons charged with upholding it, but also significantly impede the ability to seat an impartial jury and will likely substantially increase the cost to be borne by the taxpayers of Latah County to prosecute this case by extending the time it will take to seat a jury and potentially requiring a lengthy period of juror sequestration. Wow, I can't say that word. Sequestration? Sequestration. They're going to sequester the jury. Accordingly, the court finds it is imperative to attempt to see that the source of such leak is identified and held to account. Oh, you in trouble. And that doing so is the best deterrent for future violations. Yes. Set an example for once, please. Let's do this. Accordingly, the courts find it appropriate to exercise its discretion by entering this order. It is hereby ordered that all persons who at any time, past or present, worked directly or indirectly by employment, contract, consultation, or otherwise, for or on behalf of any law enforcement or prosecution agency engaged in the investigation or prosecution of persons for the murders that are the subject of the instant case of the persons. Or prosecution of the persons. Why do they keep doing this? This should not be having an S at the end. You know, we're just not gonna stop right there because I'm so tired of the what ifs and all the crazy that they're doing. Okay. Anyway, are hereby prohibited from deleting, discarding, overwriting, destroying, altering, or otherwise making unavailable any, whether electronic or in a material form, records, files, documents, metadata, messages, emails, text messages, direct or private messages, phone logs, or logs of communications, regardless of whether made or kept on a work-owned or personal account, device, or messaging app, that in any way to relate to or document the fact or substance of communications with third persons, including representatives of the media or other persons or entities outside of law enforcement, which communications in any way relate to, refer to, or concern the investigation of Bryan Kohberger, the facts or allegations uncovered or reported to law enforcement concerning Bryan Kohberger, or the investigation into the homicides that are the subject of the current or then potential criminal prosecution of Bryan Kohberger, collectively documents, or singularly a document. There was a footnote that I forgot to read. Yeah, just the name of the stupid special, The Terrible Night on King Road. Okay. All such documents or materials or records that could potentially constitute a document, even if it is uncertain whether such meet that criteria, shall be preserved and must be protected from deletion, alteration, or loss until further order of the court. Any feature on any device or account that is set to automatically delete or overwrite information that could be covered by this order must immediately be disabled. And he was going to give them 14 days, but then he said, oh no, that's going to give you way too much time to cover your ass. So we're just not going to do that. It is further ordered that within 7 days, the state shall submit to the court in camera a list of all individuals within law enforcement and prosecuting agencies, past or present, who are known to have access to any facts related to the investigation of defendant, including but not limited to, here we go, this is the specifics he's asking about, but it's basically just like a small summary of what Dateline talked about. Surveillance videos of suspect vehicle 1, the AT&T records for defendant's cell phone, the content of defendant's cell phone and other electronic devices and social media accounts, including internet search history, photographs, and information associated with defendant's Amazon account, or any information referenced in the above-mentioned Dateline episode regarding this case. The state is further required to provide a copy of this order to all such individuals and document that it has done so. Failure to comply with this order may be a basis for finding a contempt of court and such other civil and criminal consequences as may be appropriate. Within 7 days, the state must also provide to the court a written plan designed to address and prevent the future unauthorized disclosure of information related to the case and what it has done or proposes to do to identify any violations of the court's non-dissemination orders previously entered in this case and those responsible for such violations. Okay, let me skim through this one and see. I don't think there's anything different. There's not anything different. Okay, so let's think for a minute. Let's think for a second about what was on there. Now, the only thing that I felt was bad was the corn searches. Because I don't give a damn what anybody thinks. It's my opinion, and I'm not damn changing it. You shouldn't be looking up stuff like that that has something to do with people having things done to them without their permission. That's disgusting. If you're okay with that, then I don't know what you're doing in true crime. I'm sorry. If he was looking at that for his own personal arousals, that's an issue. Okay, but it still doesn't matter, because just because somebody might have like something wrong with their brain that makes them think that that's cute and all, that doesn't mean that they're the person who did this. They have to put him at the location. Everything else that was mentioned in Dateline was a nothing burger, to say the least. To say the least. Nothing at all that they did meant anything to me. Danger Zone, thank you for the $5. Do you think DM will write a book about her bushy eyebrow experience? In my own words, autobiography. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what she's going to do. I just know that that bushy eyebrow thing doesn't make any sense. And the fact that they are even trying to like pretend like she's credible whatsoever while also telling us how disgustingly drunk she apparently was and how horrible her vision was and how she doesn't even know if her brain was accurately functioning at the time or not. I don't know how that's supposed to work. I don't know how that's supposed to work. I have no idea. But other than that, the stuff about the Korean girl and that whole situation, all that did was give me more details to really get a full understanding about the bullshittery behind that situation. Not anything at all like what we were told. Not even from like the original like base story of, oh, something was going on in her apartment and she got skeeved out and wanted somebody to come and help her set up a security system. No, there's a lot more. And whenever you hear all the details, you kind of sit back and you're like, so nobody broke into her apartment until after she was rejected by him? And even though he rejected her, she ran to him at 2 o'clock in the morning when she thought somebody broke into her house. And then he spent the night at her apartment. What? And then he helped her put cameras in? I'm sorry. You're not going to sit there and try to tell me that in the middle of all that, she got suspicious of him and then she still had him come put cameras up. So all that did was make me believe even more that that whole story is fabricated. And either they're taking details that they're not getting full details about and twisting them around, or maybe she's full of crap. Okay, I don't know. But nothing in that situation was weird when it came to him. They didn't prove anything when it came to the pool parties. We already know that these two did not go to a pool party together. And when I say these two, I mean Kaylee and Bryan, because of the conversations that we've had between Steve Goncalves and Brett Norton, where he says that he even knows it's not the same pool party. Even Steve Goncalves knows that the pool party in question is not the same pool party Kaylee went to. Even he's not looking at that. So I don't know why he went back to that now, whenever we literally had the messages between him and Brett Norton where he acknowledged that it's not. So why he's trying to backtrack and talk about the Grove now? Why? Why are you backtracking all of a sudden? I'm trying to think what else was in it. Okay, the Amazon click history stuff. 2 days after the crime, not the day of, not the night of, whenever he's like supposedly freaking out. Oh my God, my sheet. He didn't do it then. He did it 2 days later. And what was also 2 days later? Enough for word of mouth to have gotten around. He's a criminology student who's also a TA who has a requirement to work with the Pullman Police Department, who has police officers and investigators and all kinds of people around him at all times. Word of mouth, people talking. Not just that, but there was people all over the place that knew the information about there being a knife sheath and stuff before the public did because they were in deep, dark web conversations and they knew about it. So for him to have possibly heard about something regarding knife sheath, and him have been looking something up on Amazon 2 days later because of his affiliations, that's not a big deal to me. They're going to have to prove more. Like, he actually bought one that has a USMC logo, because they're not showing us an invoice. Why are they just not showing us the receipt? Show us his order number. It can't be hard. I can go back to the beginning of the existence of my Amazon account and see everything that I've ever ordered, no matter where I've lived whenever I ordered it. Or who I sent it to. It's all there. It's all there. So why can't they just go in there and be like, look, here's the receipt. There's the logo. Now y'all shut up. Okay, fair. Why can't they do that? Why can't they do that? Because they can't. Because they can't. It's just so annoying. So annoying. Hey, Christina. 17 months. It's a long time. It's a long time. Oh, notice how I mentioned it 1,000 times, and how I've also mentioned how the defense has never mentioned that it wasn't his. Are you just like new here? Because you just proved that you don't know crap about what I talk about. But congratulations for proving how dumb you actually are. I don't know, probably because I can't. I don't know. The gag order, I guess, maybe. But with all these leaks and all the back and forth, that's why I just don't know why they haven't just said something. Like, they have no problem telling us all these other things. So I don't know why they can't just be like, with matching logo in the description from whenever they're talking about it in the documents. Like, even if they can't like specifically show us, why can't they just be like, with matching logo? I mean, it really can't be that hard. It really can't. It really can't. I don't know why they can't. What else was said in that thing? What else was said in that thing? I know they try to say that whenever that car took off, that it apparently almost hit someone, but then they never said what it was. They never said if it was a human walk-in, if it was somebody driving a vehicle, if it was somebody on a bike. They didn't say anything. They just said that, and then they just took off with it. But you know what? I really wonder if Bloom whatever is going to end up being called in for whatever the situation is, because he was all over that. Him and Steve Goncalves have the exact same information that they're coming out with. They're talking about each other during their interviews. Y'all know that like Drunk Turkey had him on like a couple nights ago, right? I went and watched it last night, and I sort of live recorded myself watching it the way that I did with Dateline. So I'm sort of like narrating it to the camera as it's playing, because I don't want to deal with him. And I know y'all don't really want to watch them while I'm talking about what's going on. Y'all really just want me to tell y'all and like react to what's happening. So I'm just going to try to figure out a way to like meet in the middle with that. But he was saying some cracked out stuff on there, and he's doubling down on the stuff with Dr. Ramslin, even though she's already come out and been like, no, bro, you're a liar. He's twisting her rebuttal and trying to turn it back around to where it makes him not look like a liar. It's a wild, it's wild gymnastics happening over there. Oh, and speaking of him, could y'all even take me seriously if I sat there and did my streams like this all day? If I just had this on my face all day long and I hid behind glasses and just never looked down at my phone the whole time that I had panel guests and just went with the narrative and didn't have a brain, how many of you would actually take me seriously? Nobody. You know how many times he looked up down at his phone the whole time that Howard Bloom whatever was on his channel, half the time that he was talking? He didn't even care that dude was up there to talk to him. He'd ask him a question and he looked down at his phone. He'd ask him a question. 100%. I don't even understand. I don't even understand. What else did they say? Help me think. The social media stuff, they didn't have any proof of. They pretty much like regurgitated the same thing that the Goncalveses have always come out and said. Him having photos of college girls on his phone whenever he's also a college guy and he's probably dating, trying to look around, seems like it. Getting chicks' numbers and chicks getting his number. I mean, it sounds like he was living a normal ass life. I think it does. It sounds like this is all normal. That's hilarious considering that all I've had today was coffee and water. I can't see, it's not arguing if it's not an actual like discourse. I just talk shit. afterwards because it's just gross. It's just gross. It doesn't make any sense. Makes no sense. Alan Jackson, the singer? Oh, no, wait, that's that guy. I forget the attorney from one of the Daybell or Vallow case that his name is Alan Jackson. That threw me for a loop for a while. Every single time I saw that stuff on there. I effing know not. Are you serious? That's wild. Yeah, because you know what I found? Nescafe has this like ultra concentrate in this bottle at Walmart. It's like $8, but it's so good. And I make regular coffee and then put like 2 tablespoons in my regular coffee because I have to have like really rich, but I have to have like really rich but really sweet coffee. Like diabetes but caffeine OD kind of my coffee, and this stuff is perfect. It's perfect for it. I will tell you. I mean, I might be a little hyper, but this coffee is delicious. Coffee is delicious. I just saw something that I missed. Thank you for the $19.99, Holly. Holly Burry. Thank you. What else were they talking about? I'm trying to remember what else they said. Oh, him looking up stuff on YouTube. Literally, that's everyone here right now. That's everyone here right now. Looking up stuff about Ted Bundy, people that don't even care to even like try to be in law enforcement or try to be in any sort of field like that, look up this stuff on a daily. And what do they try to say? That over a 6 weeks period, he either searched or saved something to his phone 60 times about the case. I said that most of you guys do that in a day. Like, who cares? Who cares? It's Nescafe. I have 2 bottles of it in the kitchen. I'll grab it here in a second and show you so you know what it looks like. I have like the regular one, and then they have like a sweet vanilla. Pretty good. Pretty good. I love my coffee. I want to open a coffee shop one day. One day. I'm literally over here laughing. So are you subscribed just to be like wrong? That's hilarious. Honestly hilarious. Have a good day, shenanigans. What else were they talking about? I'm really trying to think. Like, what else could have possibly been in there? The thing about him calling his parents. Yeah, that's wild as shit to me. Like, assuming that, you know, not like assuming, but knowing that we've heard a lot of stuff from the Goncalveses. So some of the stuff Dateline said about the phone stuff, the pool party, a lot of that's regurgitated. A lot of it. But the phone calls and how long the phone calls were. Didn't he say like one of them was like 54 minutes? Yeah. Oh, I have I have 2. Like, we're coffee freaks. We're Asian food freaks and coffee freaks in this house. Like, that's pretty much top tier everything besides crawfish. Yeah, that's top 3. So when it comes to the cold foam and the Cool Whips and stuff, we have like, I don't even know. We have a purple one and a blue one in the fridge right now, and Cool Whip. I think it's like, it's 2 different brands. It's gotta be 2 different brands or 2 different colors. Oh yeah. He called his parents and people are tripping. Which is like, people are trying to say that we're being hypocritical, but not really, because the girls that were awake for 8 hours while 4 bodies were just like starting to decay. Okay. And they were taking photos, taking videos, editing those things, and then deleting them and doing all kinds of other things on social media, including talking to their parents. That's a hell of a lot more shady than the timeline that we're getting from Bryan Kohberger, because according to what he's trying to tell us about his alibi, is he went the opposite direction. He drove around in the middle of the night for a while, ended up getting back home at some point, and called his parents a couple times that morning and buttoned his white t-shirt up, or I mean his white button-up shirt, and then he drove to Albertsons and ran some errands and went to the ATM and pulled some cash. That sounds like a real innocent timeline compared to that other bullshit. So yeah, if you want to call me a hypocrite for being like, it's shady as shit that the girls called their parents, but it's not shady as shit that Bryan called his, cool, because my logic makes sense to me, so I'll be a hypocrite. I don't care. I don't care. You're really stupid. I'm sorry. But that's really all I can say at this point. So you're just going to condone the fact that Dylan is admitting that she saw Xana laying on the floor and just thought, alcohol, and just didn't give a shit for 8 hours? Take away everything else. That enough should be enough for you. Don't even. I don't care. I'm looking forward to the trial too. Hypocrite. Somebody asked me earlier if we needed to come up with a nickname for Hippler. Hippler-crit. That's a good one. Hey, genius. Why don't you think that that's a problem? I'm just going to let you just keep being dumb enough and ignore you because you're really just not worth my time. You've already proven you don't even have any like facts in your brain. Yeah, hypocrite. That's going to be his name from now on. I know, it's just so stupid. I guess I want to have Richard Allen's babies too, huh? Like that kind of bullshit right there is honestly the most pathetic stuff because that's all that they can do. You either have to be like so screwed up in the head that you are lustful for somebody who's accused of doing disgusting things, or, you know, you're just stupid and you've got mental issues because you're asking questions. These kinds of people are so beyond stupid. And I'm not even going to block them. I'm just let them stay in here and be pathetic because they subscribed to me for 15 minutes to be able to run their mouths. I'm just saying. This dude's an idiot. Yeah, well, we got rid of the other one earlier because he proved that he didn't know any facts, like, whatsoever. No facts at all. Exactly. Like, if you know anything about this case, you're not going to sit there and, like, be like, oh, I believe she didn't see anything. You know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No. I'm trying to think what else. Exactly. We have a brain. Does she come on here and do stuff? Does she like have a username? My entire channel is the point, sweetie. My entire channel is the point. The documents that I read, the hearings that we go over, the facts that we discuss, the actual case facts, that's the point. Like I said, I'm not a parrot. So if you really want to get to know the case, then go do your research like we've all done here for the past 2.5 years, reading every document and watching every hearing and paying attention to the truth, not just the mainstream bullshit and stuff from people who then have to backtrack and claim, had it wrong, sorry. It's somebody else's fault I said this because they're not telling me what to say. How much is he paying you? I'd love to know. Super love to know. What else was in that thing? I'm trying to remember if there's anything else specific. Him looking up the crimes on 11/16 at 9/16. We were pretty much all looking up the crimes on 11/16. That's 3 days after. By then, word had been circulating. Yeah, other than him looking up those like nasty videos. And again, they're not giving us context on that. Some people are saying that it could be normal because of what he's studying. Y'all better hope that's what it is because that's just nasty. I'm sorry. If you get aroused and off to people having things done to them that is against their consent, that they have no idea what's happening, then I ain't got nothing for you. I'm sorry. But it still doesn't mean you're a murderer. That's the problem. That's the problem. That's what we got to figure out. The police. Speaking of the cops. I mean, I know it's a subject for the later live, but I found it really, 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 really interesting that Hippler, was basically like, I don't give a damn if these cops are undercover now. If they weren't undercover for this case, then their faces are going to be everywhere. I don't really know how I feel about that. Like, I know that we need the truth, but if these people, like these cops are like in real intense, high profile undercover situations, that's dangerous. And I don't know, like, what's the borderline with that? I don't know. That's what I said. The people that were saying that, I'm like, eh. Walmart cereal aisle. Jesus Christ. Lucas Anderson. I mean, I don't even understand. I just don't even understand. That's that right there too, Deidre. If they had points, if they had actual receipts, we'd see them. And it's just like Steve Goncalves and Howard Bloomblum, whatever, talking about the Dickies outfit. Do they realize that anything regarding the Walmart receipt is not admissible evidence? Anything about Walmart was removed by the state on the self-authenticating records, meaning there's not any surveillance of him at a Walmart buying a damn Dickies outfit that they're going to submit, that there's no Walmart receipt with the Dickies outfit on it that they're going to submit. They removed it all. So I don't know why they keep talking about that whenever the only thing that we have is the Walmart receipt with the Dickies tag that was found in the bathroom of his apartment. None of that information has been submitted. We've seen the self-authenticating records, and a receipt from Walmart or surveillance video or transaction records of said purchase falls under that category, and it's not in there. They removed Walmart. So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to try to say whenever they're not giving us an outfit. They even removed Under Armour, because I was like, are they going to try to say that he had on some sort of like the like athletic skin tight stuff also on like underneath something? Like is that what they're going to try to tell us? But then they removed that one too, and they also removed a whole bunch of stuff for the girls that didn't even make any sense, like pet stuff for Kaylee and TJ Maxx for Dylan. I think it was a lot of stuff that didn't make any sense. Yeah, there's just nothing here. I don't give a dang. I just don't. The state stood up a long time ago in court. Stood up in court and said that the strength of the state's case relies on the DNA on the knife sheath. That's why the defense has never even argued that it's his. They know it's his. They just want to know how the frick it got there. And if they can't put him at that location, then I want to know how the frick it got there too. And it really, really bothers me that we only have the swab going from ISP down to Othram. We don't have any proof whatsoever unless it's recorded and on camera. How do we know for sure that that swab that got sent to Othram actually was on the swab of, actually touched that button? We really don't, because that's shady enough as itself that Othram wasn't allowed to like have somebody extract their own sample. I don't know. I feel like that's some crap in itself. It's just all crazy. I'm trying to figure out what else they said. Yeah, this idiot right here, I've really just had enough of him, because he's not even trying to make a point. He's not even trying to bring any evidence into anything. He's just running his dumb mouth. It's so ridiculous, because like when we come out here and we argue this case, we give you facts, we give you documents, we tell you exactly what was said by the court verbatim, we show you exactly where to look. They come out here and run their mouths and they literally have nothing. They don't have anything to prove their case. They have nothing to show as evidence. They're basically Moscow. They're the freaking feds, all right? They have nothing. They just run the mouth up. That's it. We at least try to go based off of actual factual things that we can pull up and be like, look right here, this is where I got it from. If you can't do that, don't talk to me. If you can't do that, shut up. See, then there's this idiot. Bryan Kohberger is not attractive to me. I don't like guys with big freaking noses, for one. I don't find him attractive. And the fact that you think that I have to even have an opinion on this is enough. So you can get the hell out of here too. Bye-bye. Roll my eyes in the back of my head so hard they'll get stuck. Don't feed the feds. It's probably who they are. Bro, for real, that person did have that. I just saw it and I was going to highlight it, but then I didn't see. There it is. That. Major one. A major one. I know. Like, come to me with facts. Come to me with facts. If you can come to me with a fact that I can't instantly come up with something against, then don't talk to me. If I can sit here and let you talk to me and instantly open my mouth and rebut everything that you just said, don't bother. They never bring any proof of anything. It's always just a bunch of crap. Exactly. And why is that? Oh my gosh. You just cracked it, Fizzy Cake. You just cracked it. All these assholes that are pissed off at us for wanting them to show the proof are out here running their mouths without showing any proof. They literally are the epitome of everything that they should actually be pissed off about. Because if they really want this guy to be the guy, then why are they not more upset that the evidence wasn't done, like the stuff doesn't add up correctly? Why are they not more upset about what happened with the IgG? Why are they not more upset about the facts? They don't really care. This is just something they get their jollies off to. That's why. They don't really give a shit about any of this. You can tell who actually gives a shit and who doesn't, and it's blaringly obvious. You can tell by one comment who's here for real and who's here just because they're bored. Exactly. Like, all we're doing is literally going over facts. We're going over documents and trying to figure out where some people are coming up with the crazy shit they're coming up with because it's not in the evidence. It's not in the documents. I need you to show me. Oh, there's plenty of people guilty. Plenty. So he's got an attorney that he can afford to send the Dateline interview that he did with Steve to before it posts, but he can't afford to go to Boise. Sure. Thought he was going to stay with Steve. It's so hilarious. Gray. Why? Was he leaked information too? I mean, probably, because Daniel and him both had information about the 911 call before anybody else did. So yeah, if he's mad about it, it's probably because he thinks he's about to be in trouble. That's probably why. I don't know if they named a suspect yet. It's something I'm going to bring up later. I'm about to close this off so I can go do stuff so we can get on here later. I'm really disappointed in the way that Anne handled that, because you've had all this time, honey, and you knew what you were about to be turning in here. And you've known for months, at least for months, that you were about to be turning in some stuff. And you just turn in some boo-boo nothing. Some boo-boo nothing. Oh, what's this? We got an order from the court today that just popped up. Hold on a minute. This one showed up just now. They sped up. I know, Lisa. I saw that. It looked like they sped up the car leaving to make it look like he Tokyo drifted around that corner, or they're saying it's him. Tokyo drifted around that corner and almost hit somebody, but they're not saying who the person almost hit. So it did look like they sped it up, though, because that was wild. Like, that car drifted around that corner. Yeah, it was wild. Okay. So this just says, the purpose of this order is to explain the reason for the sealed hearing this morning, May 15th, 2025, held to inform the parties about the orders to maintain records that the court entered today and to determine whether a sealed hearing was needed at the end of today's open hearing to discuss jury selection questions. Okay, so it's just reiterating what happened this morning. Okay. And I don't think there's anything. Let me see. Yeah, there's nothing else. Permitting state to reclaim. Notice of compliance, jury instructions. We already looked at that stuff. Okay. There's the document orders. Oh. So it looks like on May 21st at 10 o'clock in the morning, there's going to be a hearing that's sealed. We're not going to know crap about what happens regarding role of victims. So I guess this is where they're going to be discussing whether or not they're going to be on camera or not. Or her. And then they already have the one in here for June 18th. This one right here on June 18th. This is where they're going to hopefully discuss the alternate perps because my notes are over there, but I'm trying to remember it off the top of my head. May 23rd is the deadline for Anne to turn in the stuff that, in my opinion, should have already been turned in when it comes to physical evidence for whoever or however many people they're claiming are the alternate perpetrators here. It was just a bunch of conjecture. It was just a bunch of words. It was nothing, which is stupid because she literally did the one thing that she's been complaining that the state did without proving anything, without giving any evidence. Like, why would you just give them over something so empty to give them something to complain about? That's just stupidly ignorant, Anne. Anyway, this is whenever May 23rd is whenever she has to turn that information in, and then the state has until June the 6th to respond, and then June 18th they're supposed to have a hearing about it. I don't remember. I think there's like one other thing that they're supposed to talk about on the 18th. I don't remember what it was. I don't know why they're feeling the need to talk about this now instead of on the 18th with the other hearing. Role of victims, which means Dylan and Bethany. So I don't know. Yeah, it was Masoth. Masoth said that she was heavily involved in the alt perps, but that, I mean, I think that was maybe just for like the fact they needed to schedule stuff to be certain days. I mean, I'm sure they're all pretty heavily involved, honestly. But I mean, if the judge can take a personal day or a couple personal days in October, then I don't really think it's a big deal. They should be on camera. They should be on camera. I want to see their lying faces. I want to see what they say about how they're up all night. You know, there's no way that you're drinking all freaking day long and then have this crazy stuff happen literally 5 seconds after, you know, you were just literally putting a contact in your phone and you were wide awake to do so, Miss Drunky Drunk, and then you don't sleep. You're on your phone, you're doing stuff constantly. And what are they going to try to say? That she was taking little 8-minute cat naps in between sending messages? I'm sorry, but no. No. Neither one of them were asleep. It was pretty much constant. And Anne said pretty much constant for Dylan for sure. Now, Bethany, maybe not. But I just don't believe for one damn second that you're up all day, up all freaking night, and then just up all day again after drinking and all that adrenaline. You would have crashed the hell out. I mean, like, eventually just, like, fell on the ground. Like, I'm sorry, no. No. And nobody needed to go to the bathroom? Nobody needed to go to the bathroom? I'm so tired of stupid people. How many of y'all are going to subscribe to me just to, like, run y'all's mouths? It's hilarious, all the trolls that come out whenever you're being honest and truthful. Bye-bye. Yeah, that's a good question, too. Who gave it to them? Because they're underage. Dylan, underage. So, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't even see Jeff in here today. He blamed the snooze button. Ugh, he's dumb. They didn't even set an alarm. Set an alarm. Full of shit. They took a knife. A knife was the first thing taken from his parents' house, and they still told us they never found the weapon. But see, that's also something that we're going to talk about later, because now he's talking about bringing in a weapon in some sort of display case and having security and stuff around. So after they arrested him, they already told us they never found the weapon that matched the K-bar. So whatever knife was taken doesn't match what they were looking for, but that could very well be the knife he actually did purchase that they're talking about. It could be. They haven't told us that anything matched yet. So we'll see, because they can't bring that into evidence and then be like, oh, we still haven't found the weapon. And then all of a sudden be like, oh, we're going to bring one in for display. I honestly feel like it's going to be one that they believe is similar, like from actually Amazon. They probably went and purchased one with, you know, taxpayer dollars, and they're going to have an example one in there, like a display one in there, most likely. But then again, they are really trying to act as if this knife situation that was paid for, it was like a gift to someone. The way that they're wording it. I could be wrong. I'm not the only one that thinks that. It's just that they're talking about just because something is ordered by somebody's debit card and sent to their address doesn't mean that it's theirs. And that's true. People buy gifts for other people all the time and have them sent to their own house under their own name, purchase them with their own information, and then wrap them up themselves and gift them later. So I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out. I did see that. Something about a thumb drive. That had to do with the additional authentication certificates that they needed. Jennings said that they turned in the ones that were apparently missing from the self-authenticating records list, I guess, because there were a few of them on the list that said that they were still pending to be authenticated. So I guess that's what they were talking about, because they're still going back and forth with those. Anne seems to have a couple of issues with some of the authentication records. I always want to put an F in the middle of that word for some reason. So I guess that's what that is. I mean, I don't know why they have issues thinking, trying to find out if something's like authentic or not. If it's coming from like a business, well, I guess I really can't say that, because Cyray is trying to say that the certificates of authenticity that they have are incorrect, because the guy that's like signed off on them, apparently if he was asked to testify under oath if they're authentic, he wouldn't be the one to actually do that, because that signature is meaningless. He's not actually the one who did it. So I guess I really can't say that, because they're shady. They're super shady. Thank you for the $20. Say it louder. Thank you. So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to end up doing with everything. Everything just seems like an absolute disgusting mess. Like an absolute actual mess. And it was just funny to me too. Santa's like, well, if everyone's calling it a dollhouse, it's just not appropriate, but that's on me. Oh no, it's appropriate. And yeah, it's still on you. Just so ridiculous. I don't know if we're ever going to know. See, this is the problem with this part right here. Unless they like make moves on this information because they actually found information and arrests are made, we're probably not going to know about it, unfortunately. Because they pretty much took all that off the table with Delphi. Delphi was not allowed any defense whatsoever when it came to other possibilities, alternate perpetrators, other evidence that they had, other people that confessed that had connections. None of that mattered. None of that mattered. See, and that's the part that I have issues with. Sending a swab instead of the sheath is nail in the prosecution's coffin. That's why defense isn't arguing that it's his DNA. It's very reasonable to think it was, at the very least, contaminated. Well, and see, we also had, like, before we even knew they were doing any sort of, like, genealogical stuff, like, at all, or how, like, in-depth, I guess it was in the case, there was a lot of ramblings of someone that he lives with, that he would like go on walks and stuff with, saying that he did a genealogy test and he found out, I think he said that he was German or something. Like there's an article where they talk about it. And I found it interesting that in the hearing, I think it was in April, there was a portion about like the terms of service that were violated and all the things. And the judge was like, well, it'll be different if Kohberger was a customer or a client or a patient, however he said it. Like basically if Kohberger had like signed the agreement as a customer and didn't allow them to go in and do whatever they were doing in all the crazy loophole bullshit they were doing, then it would be a violation, but it wouldn't be a violation for the court. It'd be a violation in a separate court system, like a separate situation. And Anne didn't take the opportunity then to be like, he did take an ancestry test, sir. So I don't know. I just find it interesting that they were talking about that. And then I think the Goncalveses even mentioned like genealogy stuff at one point too. So I don't know. I just wish that they would like clear up some stuff. Oh, okay. The trash pool. The trash pool. That's another thing, because in the Dateline one, they're showing it the same way that the CW did with Brian Enton. And it's like nighttime and some officers being all super sneaky and going up into the yard and taking trash out the trash can. No, that's not what we were told. That's what we thought for a while, but that's not what we were told. We ended up being told that a trash truck went in there like it was normal, but it was like stopped ahead of time. Like they couldn't go in there and do anything crazy without alerting them that something crazy was going on. So the way that it's being told is regular trash day. The trash was collected, but I'm going to assume that the trash truck maybe just like drove by and maybe just got Brian's parents' trash and then left in order for like other trash to not be also in the back of the trash truck. Because the way that the ISP scientist guy made it sound was as if they just had an entire bag of trash delivered to their office. And that's why there was multiple things found, because they found the whatever that they ended up getting the dad's DNA off of, but then they also did find a match to the knife sheath's DNA, like specifically, and it was mixed with female DNA. Like the sample was contaminated. There was male and female in it. So I don't know. I don't know. These are just the things we know, but I still don't know. I know. And not just accusations. He called him a straight up conspiracy theorist. That's wild. And it's like, he's the one who was like, no bickering, no fighting, don't be little children, do this right. And he's just like, he's like the most immature one of all of them. He really is. Exactly. Having a knife and having the knife are two different things. Just like having an answer and not having the answer are two completely different things. Yeah, I agree. I don't know. You'd think it would be. Right? It's just like the stuff that's going on with Bloom and the stuff that she's doing with the stuff that he's doing with Ramsland. He's literally making crap up about things that he's claiming that she physically did in her actual living reality that are not true. And she's even saying, no, you're wrong. And he's doubling down and acting like she's the one who doesn't know her life. That the guy that he's getting his info from is the right guy and she's a liar. I'm sorry. I'm going to trust Dr. Ramsland over you. Any day of the week. Any day of the week. Yeah, he was like kindergarten instructions. Like, you've never done this before ever, so I have to tell you every little bitty detail so you don't screw it up. It was a lot. The way he was talking to them was wild. The way he was talking to them was wild. I'll explain to you right now why I know for a fact the roommates are lying. And I know for a fact that Steve Goncalves has known that the roommates are lying since the beginning of time. And Daniel knows that I tell this story. If his trolls are over here, then he knows that I repeat this story. And has he ever come out to dispute it? No. Be real funny if he tries to now, but he'll be a freaking liar. Okay. What he told me the one time I was on his show by myself years ago after the show in the back was that whenever he was doing the interview with Christy, whenever we found out all the bullshit, okay, whenever Steve Goncalves wanted to talk to Bethany and Dylan at the memorial, you know, the one where the letter was read, they were there. They were in the back. Okay, so the lie about them not being there is already number one. When Steve went back there to talk to them, Bethany left. She didn't want to even be asked a question. She wouldn't even stick around to say hi. Nothing. She took off. She wouldn't face him. He goes and he asks Dylan if she heard or saw anything. And right then and there, he knew that she was a damn liar because she told him no. And how did he know, Jules? How did he know that she was lying? Because Jack DeCour heard her on the damn phone talking about what she saw that morning, right before he got taken away by the cops. And by the time that memorial happened, he'd already told that to the Goncalveses what he heard Dylan saying. So whenever Steve went to ask Dylan if she heard or saw anything, he was expecting an answer of, yeah, I sure did. A guy in black in a mask. And instead he got lied to his face. That's why I know the roommates are lying. At least her. And the fact that he comes out here and publicly defends her is disgusting. But then again, you look how he treats his other daughter, and then you kind of know why he acts the way he acts. Yeah. So that's why I am the way I am. Because I know that. And I know that he knows that. And that's why his behavior makes me sick to my stomach. And if you know that, how could his behavior not make you sick to your stomach? Come on. It's too much. Olivia too, bro. Olivia too. Makes no damn sense. Makes no sense. That's why it makes me mad. Because I know that he knows that she's lying. And I'm watching him protect her while lying about like the guy that's actually in custody and lying about the facts against the guy in custody. Like if he was coming out and giving us truth, then I couldn't say anything because he's giving us facts that we're going to hear at the trial that they're going to prove. Okay. But he's already come out and had to admit that he was wrong about Bryan's anything touching the King Road Wi-Fi. It never happened. He had to come out and admit that that was wrong. He also is now coming out and trying to backtrack about the door being closed. And any single time he gets asked about it, he tries to divert it. Over on the Ashley the personal channel, she asks him about the closed door. And he instantly changes it to the doors being open on the outside. And he somehow masterfully just completely avoids the question altogether. Like he has practiced this shit, okay? That's why we're going to go back over those interviews. Nope. That's why it makes me mad. And as somebody who's been wronged by the justice system, it just pisses me off even more. Because, you know, I'm at least not dead. These girls and Ethan are already gone. And the bullshit's still happening. So. Yeah. You heard that? How he diverted it and just like acted like it was this wrong all the way around. I'm sorry. You knew exactly the story that you and Christy were out here pushing. And you're trying to blame it on him. How about blame it on the fact that you don't listen? Because you also had the date that you claim that Bryan searched up the murders wrong by 3 days, sir. So can we not? Money. Money. They're working with Netflix. Why do you think that his lawyer was trying to get Howard Bloom, whatever, to work with them? The faster this trial gets over with and the faster that Bryan gets convicted, the faster they can start collecting royalty checks. I'm not stupid. Everybody knows this is happening. And I'm not trying to act like an asshole. That's just truth. And that's why it's hilarious to me that he comes out here and says shit like, this isn't Hollywood. Sir, you're really trying to turn it into Hollywood because as soon as the trial is over, guess where you're going? Netflix. Netflix. It's like your motives are out there. If they weren't doing all this other stuff, I wouldn't have anything to complain about. I really wouldn't. I would have nothing to say. I wouldn't have an opinion. I would not have an opinion. He's the only one that's been out here running his mouth. We know everything he's been talking about. It's just a lot. It's just a lot. I just don't believe all the insanity happening. And this is just a case that like we're watching. There's all kinds of insane shit happening around the world. All kinds of injustices that we actually have no clue about because we're so focused on what's happening here, which is what we need to be focusing on. It doesn't help anything. The world is just screwed. It's wild. All right, I'm going to get off here. I have to go bathe the dogs. It's going to be so fun. And cook dinner. And then I'll be back and we're going to go through all 15 of my little posty oatsies. I'll look for more documents. I doubt because of the time of day anything else is going to post publicly. And I'll go look in the comments of the live stream, I had said for you guys to go in there and leave me comments for whatever you had questions on from today so that I can address them in the live whenever we go back over it. Because there's a couple pieces that I'm going to have to go in and look for while we're on the live so that we can go back and listen to it to get the verbiage right, because the verbiage matters too for how, you know, it actually goes. But yeah, I'm going to get off of here. I'll be in a whole different outfit too. Y'all saw me in one shirt and hair differently, and now y'all see me like this. After I bathe the dogs, I have to take a shower. There's no telling what I'm going to end up in. I just know I'm going to smell like dog, and even though y'all can't smell me, it's going to bother me. So I'm going to have to fix it. I did that before, and everyone was like, we can't smell you. Okay, well, I can. I smell like border collie. All right, y'all go have dinner. Calm your brains down a little bit. I'm going to get off of here. Let me close my little thingies off. And y'all wish me luck, like seriously, because these dogs hate a bath. Please do not forget to leave a like on your way out and subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed already. All right. See y'all in a bit.